Ireland has been very, very upfront about taking as many asylum seekers, refugees, and have made a big issue about it, how good they are, how kind they are, how modern they are, how progressive they are. But just recently, I think, maybe because there's been a really big influx in Ireland recently, people are actually out on the streets protesting.
As an independent journalist who isn't controlled by corporate interests, I saw many problems arise in the Republic of Ireland and made the decision to report on what was going on over there. Why? Because nobody else was. Ireland has seen a 547% increase in migrant applications from 2021 and 2022's figures. A 547% increase in 1 year, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. That means Ireland's politicians were able to access a €9.88 billion fund set up specifically to relocate people claiming refugee or asylum status.
We need to be fair with refugees because refugees are welcome in Ireland and people who need our protection should get it.
The Irish people were sold a bill that they were helping women and children fleeing from war-torn Ukraine. But was this really the case? Small communities have seen as much as a 30% increase in the size of the population of their town from so-called refugees. They've been brought in, given accommodation and able to claim benefits. But just how much have the migrants affected the communities to which they have been placed? What has been the result on services, day-to-day living and the infrastructure of the town? Over the last few months, protests across Ireland popped up, from as far as the east to the west coast. But why? Is this a fringe community of so-called far-right individuals demanding the deportation of migrants? Are these people racist, clinging on to traditional values? What backlash did the Irish people receive from politicians and the media who are supposed to represent them? These protests seem to be led by women, mothers and even daughters, standing up and demanding a voice.
But we won't accept unvetted men.
On no circumstances should there be any refugees staying in the children's school.
What's coming into the country, we all know at this stage. Ukrainians are even talking about the people that are coming in here.
It's time for the Irish to come out now in their hundreds of thousands.
My goal? To travel to Ireland and find out how the everyday people feel. Find out the impact of these open door policy is having on communities and individuals. But I'll play this one carefully. To keep my distance from protests, to not allow the media and the politicians to further smear and label these brave people anymore.
There are rumours that a prominent English fascist will visit Cork in the coming days. I want to send a clear message out as a TD for Cork North Central and a proud Corkman. There is no place on the streets for this man or for anyone who holds his beliefs. He doesn't care about our communities, he doesn't care about Ireland, he cares about spreading his disgusting hate.
We're on the way from Dublin to Killarney. Killarney has a lot of problems. Killarney has a population of 10,600. They've put 3,500 migrants in there. We've pulled in on Fermoy, it's on the way to Killarney. We understand there's a school here where they've housed migrants on the school premises. So we stopped off in Fermoy, just another small town in Ireland. This building here is a huge building that's being used to house migrants. I believe African migrants. But to get to this building, you have to come through the community preschool. This is all, on this grounds are 4 schools, 4 children's schools. Community preschool. You come round, there's the other entrance to the school. That's a primary school. And from people we've spoke to, which we're going to meet some of them now, we've been told they're concerned and they're worried. And they're concerned and worried by the actions of some of the migrants that have come into Ireland that have been assaulting women. There's children being approached. And whether it's right that they're housed on school property. So I had one of the fathers say to me, if I want to play football, if I want to coach my son's football team, I have to go through all these Guardia checks, like the equivalent of a criminal record check in the UK, before you can go near children. You're not allowed within the vicinity of children until you've done that. 40% of the men that come into this country
are undocumented. They get rid of their passports, get rid of their papers. No one knows who they are. They're totally unvetted. Are the men in this building on the property and the same piece of land as these children? Does anyone know who they are? Do the government know who they are? Do we know what crimes they've committed in their previous countries? Does anyone know anything about them?
It's not what here. He tried to grab a child.
He tried to grab a child.
Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, that's what we're learning in our country.
Yeah. Put your penis away, you filthy animal.
Sorry.
What are you doing taking pictures of my child?
Just for me.
Why are you? He's after being taking pictures of my child. He's after taking a picture of my child. He's after taking a picture of my child.
Why are you videoing that girl walking along? Why are you videoing this girl walking along? Huh? Why are you videoing that girl walking along? You're not sorry. Why are you doing that?
I'll not do it again.
What?
I'll not do it again, I'm sorry.
You not do it again?
Yes.
You're walking down the street following girls videoing them?
Better place.
What?
I'm going to Better Bay.
Yeah, you go to Better Bay then.
Why did you think it acceptable that you wanted to rape a 14-year-old child? Why?
What are you saying to me, little sister?
Ben.
Why are you still standing here?
No.
What did you say to me, little sister?
No.
Down there, following her. What did you say to her?
No.
What did you say to her?
I could.
No, my sister's down there.
School told us they weren't told. They said they were never told anything about it. Which I don't know whether I believe that or not. I don't know. But anyway, they said they weren't told anything about it. Even yesterday, I asked my daughter, have they said that? And she, yes. Now this is, about like 4 months later, 3 months later. They still have not even mentioned it to the kids in school. That, hey, there's asylum centre, 100 metre, whatever, so many yards away from the school. Like, they haven't even mentioned it to the students. Like, there's been no stranger danger training or nothing. No, it's like nothing to see here. So we don't feel safe. I really don't feel safe for my kids or for my future.
As we were in Fermoy, my colleague Danny Roscoe caught up with some local ladies to find out how they were feeling about the housing of migrants at a local school.
You know what, we were promised that it was going to be Ukrainian women and children. Where are the Ukrainian women and children? I don't see any anywhere. You know what I mean? It's just lies upon lies from our government. This is an absolute joke. Military-aged, unvetted, undocumented males coming in to our country, destroying it.
I can't be against refugees, I'm one myself. So it's not the fact that they're refugees, it's the fact that they're male, fighting age, and if they're from Ukraine, why aren't they fighting the war in Ukraine?
I never come down here after 6 o'clock anymore. I only came down because the protest was on. Other than that, I won't go out after dark. I'll stay at home. And my kids aren't allowed out in the dark either.
It terrifies me, it really does, because like I'm even starting to drive my car now and I have the doors locked. And I won't go too far without letting somebody know where I'm going, just in case anything may happen.
Do you know what? I'm scared for our future. I'm scared for our children's future. And, you know, a lot more people need to stand up because this is an absolute disgrace and it's not going anywhere.
And we've already seen some of the actions of the men that have come into this country with regards to children and women. I can understand their concerns as parents. And I think most people in Ireland will understand their concerns and their fears. Is this the right place to place men? They're not Ukrainians as well, we can see that. Everyone who was in that car park, in that migrant centre, there's not one white person there. They're not Ukrainians, they're not with their women and children from Ukraine, which is what people have been told.
Where's all the women and children? Why is it all men that have suddenly arrived in our village? You should be ashamed of yourself doing this. You're going to destroy this village. No women and children at all.
Because I'd like to know, I live here, I want to know where you came from and why you are here. Yeah, where are you coming from?
From Georgia.
From Georgia. And what's going on in Georgia?
Yeah, what is your problem?
So you've arrived here at the refugee centre here?
Yes, sir.
For Ukraine, yeah?
Yes, sir, Ukraine.
Are you Ukrainians?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you flew in from?
From Ukraine.
From Ukraine,
yes,
okay.
From Donetsk.
Okay.
Donetsk. City Donetsk.
Yeah?
Yes.
If you don't mind me saying so, you don't look like you're from Ukraine?
No.
So we just heard reports that there are people coming from Middle East, Africa or whatever who aren't Ukrainians who are coming in through this refugee centre, and we were told as Irish citizens that it's women and children, you know. So how do you feel about that? Yeah, and you're a Ukrainian citizen, and were you not asked to stay and fight for Ukraine?
No, we are 60 years now.
You're 60 years old?
Yeah, we are old.
Oh, you're 60, are you? Yeah, and you're 60 as well?
Yeah.
And this
That's
man,
right.
yeah, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so...
And this man here is 60 as well.
Another busload of men getting dropped off to Ballymun.
The next destination we visited was Killarney, a beautiful tourist destination with a population of 10,600, which has now seen its population increase by a further 3,600 migrants, mostly men, single men, housed in the town's tourist hotels.
Killarney is a massive tourist town. You know, we're very welcoming, we're very nice people, but no, it's not women and children in here. It's men that are very aggressive, very dangerous. I know not all of them are, but you don't know.
It was the group of men that were causing all of this.
Large groups of men?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I don't know where they're from.
Are they Ukrainian?
They're not Ukrainian.
They're not Ukrainian.
They're not Ukrainians.
Okay.
I don't walk to work anymore. I drive in. Yeah, I don't walk anywhere.
You don't walk anywhere?
No.
What, at night?
No, during the day, most of the time I wouldn't go anywhere.
During the day?
No.
Is that a lot of girls?
Yeah. My cousin lives on the side there, and he won't let his girlfriend, like she works here at
Yeah.
Like he comes and meets her.
So he lives there,
He lives there,
and he comes and meets her from work?
He comes and meets her to fetch her.
To walk her home?
Back, yeah.
And is that something new?
That is something new, because he won't let her walk back because of all the plans.
Because of this?
I stopped going to the gym and everything over on, like, still in the hotel. So I just stopped everything.
So where did they try and call you?
Down there.
In what way?
Past the gate with his bike, blocked me in, wouldn't let me out.
Saying what?
What's your name? Tell me your name. Why won't you be my friend? I want you to be my friend. Where do you work? Show me where you work. I said I work way downtown. He started roaring then. Tell me where you work. They'd be roaring at you during broad daylight across the road, like.
Shouting at you?
Yeah, roaring abuse.
When you're walking down the street?
Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes, roaring, and then the old women would be terrified. And then people want to help and they can't help because they're afraid of them. So they just leave them at it.
And what did you say there was 3 Somalians on what girl?
They harassed her Saturday.
On this Saturday?
Yeah, downtown. Drove her bracelets. She had a bracelet on this. All her bracelets stuck straight into her arm with half an inch cut through her arm.
From where they grabbed her?
From they were squeezing her arm.
And police do what?
Sat there. They'll only get worse, like.
And how long? Yeah. How long's this been happening here?
Since they came. The minute they came.
The minute they came?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Ukrainians?
No.
No.
Everybody was kind of looking forward to welcoming the Ukrainians, and you know, we were really sorry for everything they were going through and that, but that's not what we're getting.
I know these people have to be looked after and all of that, but surely they should be vetted. I heard an old woman say on the radio the other day, to clean the brasses in the church, she has to be Garda vetted. But they could let all these people there into an area with no Garda vetting. Because the rule is you're supposed to seek asylum in your first port of entry.
There's millions of men coming in. Where are all their women? They all have needs.
It does make you feel insecure walking around.
Yeah, that's
like where we would have grown up that you'd walk up this road at night time, no problem after coming out. Or even from town, half the time to walk up and down. I'm doing that.
Killarney's name, obviously it's a beautiful place, but it's also got the safety. You know, like you could walk the town. I mean, you always have to have an aspect of safety, but now you just wouldn't dream about down the park. People can't go down the park anymore. I used to work in security in town in a nightclub, and I know from security still working there that the women are leaving the club and they're coming back in. They're terrified because there's people waiting on the streets for them, and they don't know what to, you know, there's a massive fear.
Around this area can feel a bit dangerous.
Okay.
Because they just kind of like follow you down.
But the refugee men follow young girls?
And they'll just hang around until you get back in. And
then, so they're watching the girls leave and...
Yeah. To see if they're going home or if they're going back into the thing. Like waiting for a taxi, you want to be standing inside the place until the taxi comes.
So girls now, instead of waiting outside the taxis, they're waiting inside the clubs?
Town on their own, they don't feel safe and stuff.
People going to women don't feel safe in the town?
Yeah. I suppose being wise.
You feel worried?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm afraid to walk around town where
You're afraid to walk around the town?
Yeah. Well, you're not legal if you're an extra.
So you have to have... I've heard a lot of women saying this. They need their men walking with them.
All the women I know here are very concerned, very scared. Our town is completely different. We are afraid to go down the park. We're afraid to walk the streets. It's completely changed. You know, I know one woman whose mother lives up behind Daly's, and she will no longer walk out there. She gets a taxi in and out to see her every day, and it's affecting everybody.
Give me money. The shop is up there. We've no money either.
We don't get paid till Friday.
We've no money till Friday. We don't get paid here. There's no cash here. Go and leave the building, please.
Yeah, don't beg shit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bitch, you want an ass?
This is getting there.
Suck it. Suck it. Suck it.
Get your fucking hand out of my face. Do you hear me? Don't dare.
I think it's crazy.
Okay.
It's ridiculous, like.
In what sense?
As in, like, it's just. No one knows what's going to happen now for the summer, like.
As in,
all the hotels are taken
and what effect would that have on businesses? Is that what people are worried about?
basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're fine at the moment, but like so many places have closed down.
Killarney is the jewel of Ireland. This town brings so much tourism from around the world. And tourists from the United States and countries like that would usually be staying in this hotel. But as you've seen, this hotel now houses Afghans, Somalians. So these people are brought in here, they're fed, they're clothed in beautiful accommodation. And it was here, in this hotel, where on New Year's, 4 people, over New Year's and Christmas, 4 people were stabbed as migrants wielding knives went to war with each other. These sorts of crimes were unthinkable in a town like Killarney. But that crime rate and that culture has now been imported by Irish politicians.
I hate that we're painted with the same brush, but there is a big shift in the last 12 months.
Big shift in the last 12 months, and is that shift, as a woman, do you feel less safe, more safe? Do you feel is there a problem with safety?
Like I'd always be the type of independent to think I could walk everywhere by myself. I always have been, but I wouldn't now. Like even the road I used to walk to, there's lots of lanes going up to it. I wouldn't park there if I'm finished later because it's dark and you hear lots of stories or people talk that's not reported of and things.
So when you say not reported of, so that you're hearing other stories of attacks against females that have not been reported by the media. And you know that from, because this is a small town.
Yeah, we all kind of talk.
So
like, I don't even know some of them were even reported to the guards, but I know amongst themselves they've talked and stuff. Joe, and just things get around and you hear even just little things like Joe, they try and grab them and they run away. And it might not be, Joe, it seems small, but it could be a different outcome.
A female friend of mine was mugged while she was taking money out of the ATM. She was really sick. There was a Polish boy walking the Mission Road last Sunday night and he got attacked. His teeth were kicked out, and you know, it's all the guards appealing for witnesses and looking for people, but there's no one being arrested.
Yeah.
So that's a worry. It's a concern, you know.
I have heard of 2 rapes by males, one in a local pub and one in this car park.
In this car park?
Yeah.
By migrants?
By migrants to 2 different males, yeah.
I wonder how many of these sorts of attacks are going unreported, because I don't know if it's the sort of thing men would report.
No, I don't think they would. And I don't think, because it's Killarney, I don't think it would be told even if it was.
So you think, because it's Killarney's history is it's a tourist destination, everyone I've spoken to in this town today are from America, Canada. Do you think they're trying to preserve the reputation of the town by...
Yeah.
So that's a local feeling that attacks are being covered up?
Literally every single female I've spoke to is scared. Scared to walk down the street. They know people who have been sexually abused and assaulted just in this small town of Killarney. Okay? Now, there's been allegations that some of these sexual assaults by migrants are being covered up. Why would they do that? Well, the reality is, all the Irish women that live here, they don't walk down the roads anymore. They changed their routes. They're being harassed and being attacked. This town makes all of its trade from tourism. Tourists from the United States, tourists from Canada. Would those tourists visit if they knew there were now no-go zones within this town due to sexual harassment by migrants from Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan? Where are the Ukrainians we keep hearing about? This town and its economy is going to be destroyed, and the people of it are fearful. Now you see all these girls, every single one of these girls has said, will you say that on camera? No, no, no. They're all scared to speak on camera.
Would you be willing to say any of this on camera? No.
No, I don't know what I'd like to say on the camera.
No, okay. Why wouldn't you be willing to say it on camera?
I just wouldn't.
Would you be willing to do an interview on camera? about it?
No. You don't need the police or the law to take away your free speech, because everyone now self-censors through the fear of being cancelled, the fear of coming under attack. When you've seen their politicians in this country are destroying the names of people, calling them racists. You see the people who are out on these streets. Every one of those women that you've seen in these covert recordings who are in fear, the men on the streets and the women on the streets are given a voice to the voiceless, to those people. And politicians in this country are slandering them and attacking them. And as you've now seen, if a journalist come down here and walk down this town centre with a camera like this, they'd walk away and say, there's no problems there. You've seen the problems. Irish women should not be in fear to walk their own streets. This problem's not going to get any better. With all the problems you're seeing, all the problems you've heard, what's the government's response to this? Bring in more. 60%, today we found out that 60% of the people coming in and claiming asylum have no documentation. They do not know who they are. This is just a small town in Ireland, and this is going on across the country.
Hardly without any debate in Ireland at all, the percentage of the population, 17% of the Irish population at the moment are non-nationals. 17% of people born in Ireland currently live outside Ireland. So it's a one-for-one replacement.
Have your kids there, Clive?
I have 7 children.
Any daughters?
I have 5 daughters, 2 boys. And all my kids are afraid to leave the house. And that's terrible. In a neighbourhood like Cabaret, no way, not under my watch. I will die before that happens. Simple as.
Very concerned father there, very concerned father.
So do you have an answer why I'm scared to go to school? Do you? No, just roll your eyes up to heaven. You children, are you going to protect them? Exactly.
They're all waiting for your wives or your children to get raped and get taken or get murdered.
I've come to Finglas, which is an area of Dublin, and I come to speak and hopefully interview one of the main activists who have been leading these protests. Only problem is, he was arrested. He was arrested by the local police, and he now has bail conditions from a judge. And in the judge's words, I'm banning you from the internet. He's banned from all social media. He couldn't do an interview because he'll end up in jail. Now, this is a worrying trend. I've experienced this in the UK. False charges which give you bail conditions for 6 months, prohibiting your activities or your activism and your democratic rights to freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. Now, when I started looking and investigating to understand what the police are going to do here, because these protests are springing up in every estate, in every area across Ireland. And then I come across this bill, this proposed bill that they want to introduce into law in Ireland. Now this should terrify everybody. This is a protection of private residents against targeted picketing bill, which sounds okay. We don't want you protesting outside people's residences or outside the front doors of their homes. But when you read into this to actually see what they're proposing, in this act, minister means the Minister for Justice. Protest includes to advise and or persuade or attempt to advise and persuade or otherwise express an opinion. This law, if they bring it in, will get you 12 months in jail for expressing an opinion against economic migrants being put onto your housing estates. That's what it's going to do. You get 12 months in jail. Now, to many people who might think that's ridiculous, that will never happen. The protest started in this town because a young girl, I believe she was 20, was raped or sexually assaulted when she was taken out of a taxi. That's what spread people onto the streets. Now, people always say they're covering up that it's an asylum seeker and hiding the fact that these are migrants doing these attacks. If you go to the National Union of Journalists guidance, they now give guidance on how journalists have to speak when they're speaking about economic migrants, which they call asylum seekers. The National Union of Journalists, this is for all journalists, this has come from the United Nations, you know, the people who are orchestrating and organising the influx of refugees and economic migrants into your countries. If information is published without consent, likely to lead members of the public to identify a person as an asylum seeker, i.e. if an asylum seeker here commits a rape and the journalist identifies them so people know they're an asylum seeker, the following people could face conviction and sentence to a fine or a term of imprisonment of up to 12 months or both. The newspaper, the owner, the editor and the publisher, other types of publication, the person who publishes it, a programme that has been broadcast or any other form of general broadcast, any person who transmits, provides or otherwise communicates that broadcast, and any person responsible for its creation or editing. So they cover the cameraman, they cover the editor, they make sure they cover everything. So if an asylum seeker rapes someone or commits a heinous crime, they're not allowed to tell you.
I was just wondering, what publication are you from? I'm from the Irish Times. The Irish Times. Why do you interview the leftists but not with the concerned citizens? Why do you interview them but not us?
I'm here doing my job.
Oh, you're not doing your job if you're only getting one side.
And I think people have a right to be concerned about any efforts by the state to criminalise people who peacefully express their view. There are serious issues of human rights at stake here, and also in the context of proposed hate crime and hate offences legislation. We have to watch very carefully the extent to which the state might seek to encroach on what were previously regarded as basic human rights.
Now, people who bank on the due process or the legal process to keep them safe in this country, there was an attack on a young Irish female, a teenager, by a migrant man. People apprehended and they detained him.
What did you do, mate?
He was arrested for the sexual assault of a minor. When he was arrested, he said he was Moldovan. Then when he gets to the police station, he says he was Romanian and he has a Romanian passport. So he gives an address for where he lives. The police go to the address where he says he lives, and when they go there, the people at the home don't know who he is. The other migrants don't know who he is. He then goes on Google Maps and he says, that's where I live. And he points to another address and he says his passport is in that address. The police go to that address. There's no passport. What does a judge do? Bearing in mind 60% of the migrants that come in here get rid of their identity. We don't know who they are. They might be wanted in other countries for crimes. They do not know who they are. The judge gives him bail. He lets him back out after sexually assaulting a teenager on the streets, grabbing her, and then he gives him a bail condition to surrender his passport. You know, the passport that he doesn't have. Does this man have any other bail conditions? You've heard about Graham Carey's bail conditions, not to use the internet. Is this man banned? Is his rights or freedoms taken, this migrant? Is he allowed to approach other girls? Yes, he is. He doesn't have the stringent conditions put on him that Graham Carey, the nationalist representative and the community representative against these crimes, has put on him. There's a judge on another case. There was an Algerian rapist. When you discriminate against your own people, the Algerian rapist was taken to court and he was convicted. And in the judge's words, if you were Irish, if you were an Irish citizen, you would have got double this sentence. He halved his sentence because he couldn't speak English, and prison would be difficult for him. This is a man who's come into this country and he's raped women from this country. And the judge treated him favourably and halved his sentence for that. If you're Irish, you'd have got double this sentence. We'll go now and speak to a survivor. I'm not going to call her a victim because she's a survivor who's coming out fighting. We're going to hear from her about what this open border policy of allowing unvetted, undocumented migrants into this country, the effect it can have on the ladies and the women of Ireland.
I flagged down a taxi. When I got in it, everything was grand, but he drove past my stop, which I thought the language barrier then again, because he wasn't an Irish national, that he misunderstood me. And when I started panicking and looking out the windows to see where he was bringing me, he had slipped something in my drink, and I drank it out of nerves, obviously. And with that, I felt the hand behind the head bounce off the dashboard, and there's like an hour, maybe 2 hours, that I don't know what actually happened. They did a rape kit as a precaution, and it had came back that there was semen found in 3 parts of my body. So I had been sexually assaulted while I was completely out cold.
He'd raped you?
Yeah. For hours.
For hours?
Yeah.
Prior to raping you, he'd raped another Irish girl 3 years ago.
She wasn't an Irish citizen, but she was in the country at the time.
He'd raped another girl in Ireland?
Yeah.
But prior to that, he was already wanted for rapes in Austria and France.
Yeah.
So he's a foreign national?
Yeah.
Was he in there illegally?
I don't know. All I know is that if he had been background checked and guarded vetted, they would have known that he was basically a fugitive wanted.
So when he
for
came
serious
into the
crimes.
country, there must have been an Interpol warrant out for someone who's wanted for previous rapes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in Ireland.
Yeah.
Was he a taxi driver?
No.
He wasn't?
So he wasn't registered or anything, so the only conclusion we could come with is that he must have gotten stuff online. You
So he
know,
wasn't-
the sign, like he had the sign and everything. He had the little thing, you know, on the front of the taxi where it says his name and his taxi number, but it wasn't real.
It was all fake.
Yeah. So he obviously, it was all premeditated. He knew what he was doing, and the previous attack, I won't go into details, but it was pretty similar. He just said that basically that he didn't have to ask women for sex.
In his culture.
Yeah. It has scared me. I'm afraid to go down the road. I don't like going out when it's dark. Like, it's just terrified me and it's traumatised me. Like, I have PTSD. I have to deal with that, with flashbacks and everything. And I have an autistic child, which I love to death, and that's what's keeping me going. But this shouldn't have happened. Like, if something was actually done and they realised the importance of Garda vetting, this would not have happened.
How many persons are deported by the state per annum, and how many persons receive deportation orders?
Yeah, actually the figure is 140 people who were removed last year under deportation orders. So the obligation is on people to remove themselves from the state, and many people do.
So the question that leads me on to is, are there any jurisdictions that refuse Irish deportees?
There are difficulties with some countries, particularly in relation to getting...
Could you identify some of the jurisdictions?
Usually countries where there are unstable governments,
okay.
Where there is war-torn countries. So there's a number of countries that we won't send people back to.
I'd seen online a video of a migrant attempting to gain access into a young girl's premises of work. As I was in Dublin, I decided to track down that company and go and speak to the girls inside and find out exactly what was going on.
It was just intimidating the staff, making sexual gestures at the two girls that were working here and banging on the window. It's horrible. It was horrible, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually quite frightening. It's like afraid to go for your lunch.
He wouldn't
now.
leave. You're afraid to go for your lunch.
And how closing up now, like, it's a bit worrying, do you know what I mean?
And is this something new? Has that happened before? Or is that a new thing?
It's just a new thing because a lot of hostels have opened up along Dorset Street, and I think they're opening a bit more, so they're all just drinking out on the street now, whereas before it wasn't as much as it is now.
Are they places that are open to accommodate the new people coming into the country?
Yeah, and they're planning on opening more apparently as well along that street.
Yeah, like I wouldn't go for walks in the dark.
You wouldn't?
This was
No.
right now.
Is that a new thing?
Yeah, it would be a new thing. Yeah, I would have never even thought like that before. But it is scary because now I'm nervous even letting my daughter, who's 11, walk around.
Which is bad.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. Like thinking, oh, she's going to her friend's house to the shopping centre. Is she okay when she walks out? That's a shopping centre.
I'm more nervous for my daughter, that's a fact. She's 23.
Nervous now?
I don't like her going out. There was an incident here ages ago where a girl was kind of, a fella approached her and grabbed her and kind of and she walked off. And I'd said to my daughter when I saw it online, I said it's scary how she just walked off and took no notice.
Watch him over there. Yeah, I've already got him. I fucking got him.
Yeah, I was attacked last year.
You was?
I was, yeah, in town. But that case is still going on. Like, I was bad, left in hospital and all that. And the night that he attacked me and him, he was also charged on something else as well.
He attacked other people as well? Is he in jail? No.
No.
Just random attack?
For no reason at all. And I'd still be wary. Like, I'm going into town tonight and I'm bleeding anxiety through the roof thinking about going into town tonight.
As women were leading these demonstrations on the streets, I also come across 2 videos of them confronting their politicians.
Hi Michael, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think about the people sleeping on the streets of Ireland in Dublin city centre?
Terrible indeed. Awful.
Awful. And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to do anything about it? No, my question comes first. Could you please tell me what you're going to do about the people sleeping on the streets of Ireland?
Yeah.
You're building houses to flood the country with refugees. That's more than welcome into Ireland. More than welcome. But don't leave your own on the streets dying, for God's sake. Do something for them. Michael, you're a disgrace to the Irish people. You won't even answer your questions.
Leo, are you here to meet homeless people in Newbridge? Absolutely. Are you here to meet the homeless people? Are you here to meet the homeless people we have in our streets? No? We're not here to meet the homeless people, no? You're an absolute disgrace to this country, do you know that? A disgrace to this country. No t-shirt to any Irish person. I'm sorry, we're not allowed to talk the truth, no? Thank you very much. We're not allowed to talk the truth in this country. He's a disgrace. You're not a teacher in this country. You're an absolute disgrace, my man. 11,000 Irish homeless we have in this country. 11,000 Irish homeless. Are you actually standing and protecting this man? Are you protecting him? There's 11,000 people in this country homeless, and he's bringing in 80,000 foreigners, unvetted.
The first, a lady called Dee, and the second, a lady called Noreen. As I was in Dublin, I decided to reach out to these two ladies and see if they'd sit down and talk to me about their concerns and fears.
Well, a lot of them are afraid. I know women that can't even go to work anymore. They won't walk. They used to walk to go to work, and now they can't even do that anymore because it's too fearful. And that's a sad reality of Ireland today. You genuinely can't. I wouldn't let my son now walk to school on his own.
And how quickly has that changed?
Overnight. Literally overnight. They dropped them in on a Tuesday. People were afraid on Thursday because that's how aggressive these people are. They're not coming in here to be nice. They're literally grabbing you on the street. If they look at you and they like you, they're having you. And that's just their attitude. Do you know what I mean?
They're scared, Tommy. They're not only scared, they're petrified for their children, but they're not only petrified for their daughters. Look at your rapes on young boys here now.
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
I've seen one case. I've seen two in Dublin. I've seen a man running naked down the street after being raped.
That was in Pearse Street. That was in the city centre.
Hey, sir. What's wrong? Sir, you need help. Come here. Come here. What's wrong? Come here. What's wrong? I was raped. What?
The story behind that, what we all know, we only know from the video. Now, I know a woman that lives down there in the flats, and she says to me, Day, don't let the mainstream media tell you anything other than that it's true. And it is true, she said. He has been silenced. So what's happening here, Tommy, is the guard. Now, you heard from Noreen.
Who were the perpetrators in that rape?
The perpetrators was three non-nationals.
Three non-nationals?
Three non-nationals.
I've seen another case.
They gang raped them.
I've seen another case of two non-nationals raping another boy.
Yeah. But
I've seen in Belfast, there's been an 8-year-old male.
But you see the way the story went around, that that man walking his dog that was raped by the three of them and held overnight. Well, he wasn't held overnight, he was held captive. I've just found out that wasn't a man, it was a 14-year-old boy. And what's happening here in Ireland is the victims of these rapes. Now, as I said, they're not just worried about their daughters. People are now worried about their sons.
They're not looking after us. They're not looking after the people, the children. They're not looking after the children, and it has me really frustrated as to why, for instance, our government last year spent 5 million bringing over Ukrainian pets. 5 million to bring over Ukrainian pets when we have 83,000 disabled children in our country who can't get services.
There's a lot of convicts getting allowed in now, because that's where they've just been thrown here, like, you know, and we're letting them in, probably not doing any vetting or anything on them, and just they're allowed to walk.
60% of them don't have any papers.
That's what I'm saying, like, and
who are they?
Someone I was told works in the airport. People are actually getting their passports and shoving them down the toilet, blocking up the toilet systems, because they don't want to give their papers because of that convicts, because they're convicts.
Yeah.
So
because otherwise they would get their papers if they're genuine asylum.
Exactly, you wouldn't have a problem with that.
These men came to Ireland without proper passports, visas or travel documentation.
I've just passed through the airport. I had a passport of someone that looks like me.
They get their meals paid for them. They get everything is handed to them. So all that money they get to go and spend and go out in the streets, and that's what's happening. That's where our crime rate's jumping up then, because they're going out attacking our women. They're going out and attacking our women, and then our guards are asking us to keep quiet about it. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's happening in front of our eyes every day. We got that little girl. Now, I can only judge by the video on the Lewis line. You can judge by her clothes.
Okay, this is the Lewis line is the tram stop.
The tram. You just call it. We call it the Lewis. You just call it the tram. That child was only she was only a teenager, and people were saying, "How do you know that?" Look at the clothes on her. She'd Nike runners and she'd cropped trousers, and you can tell by the clothes on her she was only a teen. And it was a woman and a man. Now they were caught. There's not a thing about them in the papers. If that was an Irish woman and an Irish man, that would be plastered everywhere. Their names, their addresses, everything would be out there.
We know why. We've looked at the laws of the journalists of how they're telling them they have to report.
And he was left to be able to do this. And people are being asked to stay quiet, that they're non-nationals, that they're migrants. This is sick. Ireland has become a very, very sick country because of the government that self-elected himself.
This man recorded my young girl, so I'm releasing footage of him. As Gardaí advise, hands are tied. Filming minors not a crime. Parents need to be aware, for 45 minutes, he filmed children and even spoke to some. He was asked what he was doing. Meeting a friend, he said. What grown man meets a friend at a playground? A friend who never came.
What are you doing? Waiting for my friend.
This is the thousands and thousands that have registered just in January. Georgia, Nigeria, Algeria, Somalia, Zimbabwe, Afghanistan, South Africa, Pakistan, Albania, Botswana, Congo, then Ukraine. This is in the list of the amount. Back to Ukraine, there's hardly any compared to the rest of the countries. Egypt, which is all that your politicians are telling you, is to house the Ukrainian refugees. Egypt, Morocco, Mali, Syria, El Salvador, Ghana, Sudan, Iraq, Sierra Leone, India, Ethiopia, Bolivia.
All single males.
Swaziland.
All single males.
Uganda,
that's my question.
Kenya, Iran.
Why are we taking them?
Cameroon, Togo.
How many countries do we have to pass to get to Ireland, like?
Angola, Brazil, Mauritius.
We're supposed to be here in a safe country. It's just a scam.
I'm just asking people, where have you come from?
Somalia.
Somalia?
Yeah.
How long have you been here, lads?
6 months like that.
6 months?
Yeah.
And nice?
Yeah. Nice.
How did you get here from Somalia?
Somalia?
Yeah, how? Fly?
No. Somalia, from Ethiopia.
Yeah?
We have a residency here. Yeah.
Oh, you got now you've been given citizenship?
Yeah.
Oh, did you come as refugee?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went from Somalia to
Ethiopia.
And then where?
To Sudan.
And then to Sudan, and then where? That's what I want to know.
To Libya.
To Libya.
And Libya to Italia.
To Italia.
Yeah.
And then when you was in Italy, would you be safe in Italy?
Yeah.
You were safe in Italy, yeah.
Where are you from, brother?
I'm from West Africa, Togo.
Yeah, Togo?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you from, brother?
Togo.
Togo, all Togo, yeah? Are you from Africa as well, my friend? From Georgia. Georgia. Egypt. Oh, okay. Afghanistan, okay. Are they treating you okay in here?
Yes, everything's okay.
Everything's okay. So, Somalia, you come there?
Afghanistan. How long have you been here?
About 4 months.
4 months. If you're from Afghanistan, how did you get here?
Through illegal.
Illegal?
Yes.
Which way though? Which countries did you come through?
Through 14 countries.
14 countries?
Yes.
Wow. Italy, so to UK?
Yeah.
So you went to England, that's where I'm from. So you went to England and then come to Ireland?
Yeah.
You was in other safe countries?
Yeah.
How come you didn't stay there? If you've gone through 14 countries?
As I have mentioned that my target was Ireland, so that's why.
So your target wasn't safety, your target was to come to Ireland? Because safety would have been safe.
Both of them
includes.
Ireland was most.
Roderick O'Gorman has basically sent out search parties looking for asylum claimants around the world, telling them that they can all get a free house or free access to housing, free healthcare, free education 4 months after they've got approval for their asylum application.
We need to take a closer look at these messages and these tweets by Roderick O'Gorman. This is for the people who still think this refugee crisis is organic, that it's not planned. Roderick O'Gorman in 2021 uses his Twitter feed to put out an appeal for people to come to his country, telling them they'll get the key to their own front door within 4 months. The 5 languages he translates his posts into: Albanian, Arabic, Somali, Urdu and Georgian. Now here is a list of 48 different countries that migrants have claimed refugee status from 12 months after his posts. If we look at just the top 9, 7 of the top 9 countries, if you look at the countries he put out in, 7 out of the 9 are the languages that he appealed in. This result and this refugee crisis is a direct result of him and the Irish government appealing for people to come to their country.
Roderick O'Gorman put out a little leaflet inviting all these people over here and offered them houses within 4 months, considering we have a housing list where there's people waiting for 12 years. But yeah, our government are coming in and they're throwing all these people, like you get people landing on a plane on Tuesdays and by Friday they're being housed, they're getting medical cards, they're getting dole, they're getting everything.
All that money that the government's putting into them could be putting into our own homeless people.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a lot of homeless people that are on the streets who are dying.
I know. 95 last year. 95 Irish women, no, 95 Irish people died last year from homelessness.
No issue with once you look after your own people first and try and help with the homeless crisis that we have as well.
Yep.
And then everybody else coming here.
Our schools are oversubscribed, the hospitals are oversubscribed, doctors, like it's not feasible. We're not equipped to look after ourselves in this country. We have 11,666 homeless people in this country.
The house was taken off you when your parents died and they didn't have you on the rent, was that? And you were just told to leave. Shame on them.
Like Ireland has had homeless for the last 40 years and they were all Irish. Now suddenly there's houses and accommodation being provided for everybody that isn't Irish.
Well, spanking new mobiles there for the Ukraine people, and they can't put their own Irish in a fucking hole. They can't even put up their own Irish homeless people. Well, what's this say? You can't fight the war, but you're here in our country. Why aren't you out there? I know, but why don't you not have a boom, boom, boom? No, speak English. But come here, when you come into the airport, you can speak English, couldn't you?
Last week there was a 34-year-old homeless fella died on the street, like, do you know, and wow. He was homeless for I don't know many years, but yet they're putting these people up, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like,
my son has special needs, so we have a summer camp every year. So we were asking one of the government organisations for some money.
Yeah.
And now this is a really good summer camp, and special needs children absolutely love it. It's 2 days a week for 3 weeks. And she said, no, I don't think I can give you any money this year. And I said, well, is there any way at all we could get some money? And she said, oh yeah, have you got any Ukrainians in your special needs summer camp? And therefore, if you have, we'll give you loads of money.
An article came out yesterday in the hospitals that because the hospitals are so understaffed in this country, people have to wait now between 12 and 18 hours. And over the last 13 months, 1,300 people have died in this country because of that. So why are we taking in 80,000 more people if we already have 1,300 dying because they can't be seen by a doctor?
Hey folks, I have my own form, seeing if you'll sign up to it. It's to house unvetted male migrants in your home. Would you like to house any unvetted male migrants in your home? Why not? Are you a racist? Or are you a fascist maybe? What have you got against refugees? If I had a home, I'd house them in my house. So you're speechless, but yet you're here preaching about racism, but you won't house unvetted male migrant strangers in your home. That's the problem, isn't it? This is why the country's so divided, isn't it? Nice fake laugh, buddy, nice fake laugh. Yeah, 100%. Would you like to house unvetted male migrants in your home? Well, that's why the country's divided, folks, because they actually can't answer the hard questions. He actually doesn't have an answer to it. So there you go. No, it's not ridiculous because you don't have an answer. If it was ridiculous, you'd have a million answers, but you don't.
There's 86,000 children, disabled children, waiting on lists to be seen by services. Like, so I'm just wondering why Roderick O'Gorman and Leo Varadkar have opted in to take in these refugees, because Ireland is actually, we're not obliged to do this.
No,
this is an opt-in.
They chose to opt in.
Yeah.
Ruth Copinger, and of course a person that has no kids, Roderick O'Gorman, actually cares about your children. Like, you couldn't. I mean, look at this place.
If you cared about children, you wouldn't do this.
Yes.
If you cared about children, you would not put unvetted in here when a school is right behind it, and with lanes everywhere and into our community, and we don't know about these people. We don't know if they're documented or not.
People are taking the streets to alert the political establishment of communities overwhelmed, unable to handle the volumes of people entering Ireland. The answer? Labelling opponents far right. They did the same in Sweden.
I'm very concerned about the rise of the far right and indeed the rise of racism in Ireland.
To me, majority of these people are out of work. Obviously, where do they get the time to protest? So my opinion is, these people are out of work. They've nothing else to do.
Racists and the far right will blame whatever problem the country is facing on migrants. That's the way it works. That's the way they think. So if we have a housing crisis, it'll be the foreigners are taking our homes. If we have an unemployment crisis, it'll be the foreigners are taking our jobs. If we've got high levels of crime, they'll blame the foreigners for the high levels of crime. If there's violence against women, one of the oldest tropes in the book, they will blame that on migrants and people who've come here from overseas, particularly those who are brown or black.
It's unbelievable. Like, you look up gaslighting, it's what they're doing to us. Like, they're telling us one thing and then calling us names then when we say, actually, that's not what you're doing. Like, and we're getting called names then and getting called a racist.
You know, the way they're even talking about people that are standing up for the country, standing up for their communities, calling us racist. That's disgusting.
Aisling Murphy, a girl, was going for a run. She was a school teacher in our country. She was out going for a run. She probably exercising is what she done every day because our country was safe at what you would be able to do it. And that girl got attacked and killed on her jog. It's an invasion in what's happening. And you can see that with the statistics of rape. I have another thing here. Rape in 2021, it went up 7%, and in 2022, I think it went up 12 or 13%.
But I don't think we're racist. I think we're just actually protecting ourselves because we've seen what the outcome is, and we're hearing stories. And you're seeing, like, you've heard say a woman's getting attacked in a park right next to your home. You're hardly going to just go and risk that. Just in case, like,
Because I don't want to be seen as a racist.
I don't want to be seen as a racist, but yeah, you're going to risk yourself walking through a park in the evening. Yeah. That's not okay either.
No, none of us.
How you can be scared of being called racist rather than come and do something to protect your children. You have your daughters, your sisters, your wives, and you are scared of being called racist? Come on, like.
You know what's really, really sad? All you people that are commenting right now and calling us racist. And all you hobnobs stuck up your fucking own arse, virtue signalling whores who would have a candle for Aisling Murphy, but don't dare talk about the fact that the person who killed her was an unvetted man known to the cops who'd already done this.
So when I was doing my research into this stuff, I came across this paper, Funding in the Areas of Migration and Border Management. Now, what I discovered is the EU, since Ireland started taking in these refugees, the EU started funding us for a Dublin Rape Crisis Centre, working with refugees and asylum seekers. So it's why is the EU funding us for a rape crisis centre? What do they know that we don't know? Do you know what I mean? They know exactly what they're allowing to come over into this country.
There's always a great chance to have a national conversation in the aftermath of a tragedy. So a few months ago, we had a very awful murder of a young lady in the centre of the country, a teacher who was walking home from school. And we had a national conversation about misogyny and the terrible awfulness of Irish men and rape culture and how young men had to do better and how we had to teach boys to be better in Irish primary schools and so on and so forth. And then eventually they arrested a suspect who, I should say, a suspect, he has yet to be convicted, but the suspect was from Slovakia, who moved here when he was 22, which sort of undermined the idea, in my mind at least, that a national conversation about young Irish men was a particularly helpful thing to have. And so in last week, obviously, we had these awful events in County Sligo, which was a great opportunity for a national conversation about homophobia and our attitudes to gay men. I mean, let's set aside here for 1 second the fact that the Republic of Ireland was the very first country in the entire world to legalise same-sex marriage in a popular vote of almost 2-1. So clearly we can't be that homophobic. We then had the Minister for Justice, the Irish Minister for Justice, a lady called Helen McEntee, come out and say that the crimes were a call back to an earlier, darker time that we had left behind. That's not an exact quote, but it's a pretty close approximation. And then a couple of days ago, the Gardaí, the police, made a breakthrough and they arrested, again, I want to be very clear, a suspect who has not been convicted as of yet, but their prime suspect, a very strong suspect, a gentleman who the police allege, committed these crimes out of an excess of Islamic zeal. So, I mean, when the Minister for Justice says hark back to a darker time, I struggle to remember any time in Irish history where gay men were being beheaded by Irish people. And once again, we have this kind of bizarre attempt to have a national conversation about the thing that isn't actually the issue at all. Because the real issue in this case appears to be how well we integrate people into our society if we accept to bring them here to begin with.
They will come again for votes. They will come again to the people. Right now, I don't know where they are. You know, they sold us out. They really did. They do not care about their own people. Obviously, they're making money out of flooding the country. You know, that's what it would look like, and that's all that appeals to them.
I'd say shame on every single one of you. Every single one of you have sold this country out, Sinn Féin especially. They've lost the support of the people of Ireland, 100%. 100%. Every single person in that doll should hang themselves in shame for what they've allowed to happen to our beautiful area. Every single one of them. Shame on them. People before profit, they're not people, they're profit before people.
It's Irish people who pay your wage. I don't think they should get their wages anymore. Do you know what I mean? That should be taken away from them. I think the whole thing should be stripped away from them because they don't deserve anything in this country. They're not looking after the Irish people. They're looking after the EU and the UN's agenda. And that has to stop.
Protect your people. We put you there to protect us and to do your job, you know. Like, you can't just flood the country with these people.
Look at what's happened to me and other victims, like, and it's time to open their eyes and wake up and basically see that this isn't about race, this is about keeping people safe. And there's a lot of unvetted men here now that in their mind they've grown up to think that it's okay not to respect women.
Well, tell us why you're here today. We'd love to hear your views.
Today is about children. I've grandchildren, and I'm afraid of what's going to happen if they go out in the street and somebody will be attacked.
I'm here today to secure the future of the children of this country.
What does the future hold for the Republic of Ireland? If the politicians get their way, with all three political parties pushing for more open border migration, more so-called refugees, more unvetted, undocumented migrants? Or will the mothers of Ireland get their way, where once again they feel safe and free to let their children walk the streets of their own country? One thing's for sure, the women and the mothers, they don't look like they're backing down. There's definitely going to be a battle ahead.
If it keeps going on the way it is, our town won't be recognisable. Like everyone's kind of saying it's too late. People, no, you have to get up. We have to protect our country, you know. We have to protect our communities, our children.
I think if a fight is kept fought, you'll never be fighting a losing battle. And you have to keep fighting. You have to keep standing up for what you believe in. I want a safe country for my children.
We're not going to sit back and accept it. That's where the government made a mistake. They made a mistake by coming for our children, by bringing these people in here and making our children our children couldn't be safe. And you don't understand how much they've messed up with that, because I'm telling you now, women, we're not going to sit back and allow this. This is our children's future we're fighting for, and that's where they made the mistake.
People say to me, Dave, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time? This is my home. This is my country. This is my culture. And I won't sit back and see it wiped out.
Do you value the content we bring you? We bring you the stories that no one else is willing to, but we can't do it without your help. If you can support us and help us, please go to urbanscoop.news/support us. We need your support.